It's Kurger Bing. Yo, what's up out there, everybody? Thank you for joining the live stream. I'm seeing your comments here, which is awesome. A Punk, that's right. Vampire, shout out to Vampire Weekend, everybody. It's one of my favorite new band. I mean, they're not favorite new band to me. I know they're not a new band, but a huge shout out to Vampire Weekend. Amazing songs, really good stuff. Couple shout outs here before I go to Alicia Katsoris, Michael Kermishi, Simplified. Simplified says he plays the guitar pretty well. Maybe you should do some lessons on YouTube. It's funny, you guys. Maybe you can. And Ozzy Farrell, what's up? Let me know, you guys. I've been playing guitar a long time, and I was considering throwing my hat in the ring of YouTube guitar lessons. I was thinking about maybe trying to teach people. I know it's a lot of people are doing it, but maybe I have something to offer. We'll give it a shot. You guys let me know in the comments if you think I should do that. So check this out, you guys. I'm using a little bit different technology today. This is actually my laptop, and I'm actually using some technology to be able to share a screenshot like that, or even fancier. I could go like that, or even fancier. I could go like that. And so what you're seeing is a Reddit page called Guitar Circle Jerk. You can see it right here. Actually, if I refresh it, you can see some funny stuff. Like, for instance, this post. Can't believe Steve Vai learned guitar just for this movie. That's pretty funny, right? So if I go to new comments, we've got, we refresh, and we've got mine right here where I'm offering to do an AMA. So if I go here, I don't think I see any comments yet, unless, Michael, you don't think I'm looking at this right. So I'm answering some questions. Is that the OBS software? This is actually one This is, oh, here, let me go back. Hey, everyone, still here. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so this is called StreamYard. And I've actually used this not for my own live streams yet. This is the first one, but I've used this. Oh, okay. There's about 10 comments. I don't see them on mine. I'm going to refresh again. New. So when I go to mine, I don't see any comments. I'm refreshing it. Let's see. Let me try again. Oh, 27 comments. There we go. Okay. So I have it here, and I was starting to sweat a little bit, but no, we're good. So if you guys want to head over to that Reddit, and you can ask questions there, or you can just watch me right here on the live stream. But a good thing is, this Guitar Circle Jerk Reddit, I still have it open, but there's definitely some adult, hey, Simon, there's definitely not safe for work language, not safe for children language. So just warning you right now, but I'm going to go through the page first without sharing it. The first one I'm seeing here, I'm going by best first as far as the algorithm picks. So it says, how does it feel to be a god among the guitar circle jerkers? Just need more tone. Oh no, here we go. Here you go. Just need more tone. How does it feel to be a god among the guitar circle jerkers? I'm not quite sure how that feels. I get a little nervous. You guys make me a little nervous. Have you ever played any foreign music? Trying to think. I've definitely been in situations where I've had to play, like Afrobeat music, or reggae is not fully foreign, I suppose. I've played, I've been in situations, so I can say, I can say in some situations. All right. What, am I getting texts too? Okay, so okay, yeah. Anyway, I can sort through new and stuff, but let's see here. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so hello, Marty. Do you know which scale is somewhat hard but really good sounding to solo in? Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Any scale that you learn isn't, you learn it and then it's not as hard. But I would say you can add, let's say you have a minor D minor chord. And then in a situation where it would go to A7, there's a scale that's a little harder than the pentatonic to learn, like. And so this would be called the D harmonic minor scale. Harmonic minor for those very dramatic situations, a little bit harder to play than one of your modal scales, 7-note scales, or your pentatonic scale. All right, so let's go back to the Reddit. So I'm actually going to let this person know by saying harmonic. Oh, you guys, I'm in a weird position for typing, but harmonic minor scale. Very, I'm usually a good typer. Dramatic, very dramatic tone. All right, I'm going to go to another one, then I'm going to refresh these comments. But right here, we've got, hey, Marty, what else besides guitar and Star Wars do you enjoy during your free time? Well, that's a good question. Especially now with the pandemic, let's say family stuff. My son and I have built some Lego. Fall Guys on PS4. It's stuff with my family, but Fall Guys on PS4. Let's see. Oh, and then Jackbox. Come on. I hate these autocorrects. Jackbox games have been really fun family games. If you guys aren't familiar with that, we're doing it on Apple TV, but Jackbox games. I mean, I think that the company goes all the way back to that old trivia game, You Don't Know Jack. But Jackbox games are great family games because you can do the for children version, or you can do adult version. But it's basically almost like a game show that's run, and each person can control their buzzer or write in their answer or whatever, all with their own phones. And you can log in, everyone plays together, and the game runs it for you. So yeah, Jackbox TV, man. My family, like I said, you can do the family version where there's no edgy edgy comments and stuff. And then, but if you're doing the adult party, man, nothing, it is so fun. So that's another thing. But yeah, I love Star Wars. I was just born at that perfect age. Okay, so I'm still looking here. Someone asked about, oh yeah, Philip Brady over on YouTube asked, did I really play a gig with Tracy Chapman? And the answer is yes, I really did. I really did. Oh, thank you for the epic shirt comment. So Tracy Chapman, Fast Car, and Give Me One Reason to Stay Here and all that. I did play with her. We have a mutual friend. And this was when I was really still, I was either still in college or 1 year out of college. I had a band that I was playing in, a professional, corporate kind of band is what musicians call it, like a cover band playing at nightclubs and stuff like that. But anyway, mutual friend, Tracy Chapman was in town. She played it was like a private party, and my friend said, come on over with 2 guitars. And so I came over, and she was there, and we hit it off, and we played a bunch of songs together. We did play Give Me One Reason to Stay Here. So that was really fun because I got to play some more blues style on that. But we did Beatles covers, Bob Dylan covers. Tracy Chapman, I just can't say enough amazing things about her as a person and as an artist. She's incredible. So I did get to play with her. I didn't tour with her or anything like that. Anyway, I'm going to refresh this Reddit page. Okay, this is cool. So let's go to this so you guys can see it. This is kind of fun format, don't you guys think? Being able to go to some screenshots here. I think it's kind of cool. So right here, some questions. I just picked up guitar for quarantine, and I'm trying to learn to play and read music. Anywhere you would recommend to look to get started other than YouTube videos? Well, first, let me say, don't you just hate those boring and terrible YouTube guitar lesson videos? Aren't you just so sick of them and how horrible guitar YouTube lessons are? I wouldn't name names, but I really hate this one guy in particular. So go and to our site and watch instead. There is actually a really great book. There are still books that exist, but a book I use, there's a couple things. One is just, it's called Sight Reading for Guitar. Now, unless you want to be like a professional musician, or you already read because you studied violin or saxophone or piano or whatever, reading music isn't going to be the fastest way to playing guitar well. So I'll just say that. But there is a great book called Sight Reading for Guitar. It's good for you as a musician. There's also cool guitar teacher of mine once recommended a basic snare drum exercise book. So that way you're only reading rhythms, not notes and rhythms. And that did really help me a lot. Now, the thing is, sight reading is like a muscle. If you're not practicing it all the time, it kind of goes away. So I haven't really needed it. And I do all kinds of music, but I haven't really needed to be sight reading all the time. So that's all I'm saying. So, all right, let's go back to the Reddit, because that's what this is about. Okay, let's go to this, and maybe you guys can chime in too. I'm looking at this one. Hope you're doing great in these challenging times. I don't have a particular question per se, but rather a request. Can you make guitar tutorials, preferably acoustic, of Porcupine Tree songs? Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you know Porcupine Tree. When I was still giving lessons all the time, one-on-one lessons, I remember one student and his father were really into the band Porcupine Tree, and I did learn a bunch of the songs. I don't remember them at the moment, but I remember it was like a band I had never heard of. So this was about 15 years ago, and I was like, oh, interesting. Someone's asking for a song of a band I've never heard of. So that's how I checked it out. But if any of you guys are interested, let me know some songs that you think are good. Okay, this is, I'm going to go to this one, and then we'll refresh. Butterscotch Telly or what? If anyone's only checking out this Reddit subreddit today, there is quite a fun little meme about the Butterscotch Telly. Okay. And so I've been trying to have fun with that Reddit, and even in my 100 cliche things a guitar player says, I've been throwing that stuff in there. Let's go to Trick Yep right here, my friend. It says, hey, Marty, nice to see you here. My questions are, what are your biggest struggles as a guitar teacher and musician? Those are kind of two different things. What is an important lesson that you've learned while teaching others? Is there anything you always wanted to express, say, in your channel that you haven't? Tricky Yep, man, those are good. Let's add some excitement. Just go straight to it, right? Just to mix it up, and then I can go to that and be like, "Oh, hey, thanks, really good." Right there, you mean that comment? Oh, it's even bigger now. What are your biggest struggles as a guitar teacher and musician? Man, well, the struggles as a musician were really about combining your love of music and playing guitar with making a living. It can kind of take some of the joy out of it. So that was always a struggle. And I'm talking before I did YouTube. Now that I do this as my job, it's the most rewarding thing I could ever think of. I'd rather do this than being in a famous band or anything like that. This is like, I love it. I love helping people. I get to play all the time. One of the things that is amazing as a guitar teacher, and it was something I was thinking about earlier today, and it's why I'm answering this question right now, is something that's for any of you try and teach somebody, if you know a little bit of guitar, even if it's great, even if you only know one little riff or you only know one chord, right? Try and teach someone, because what happens is you trying to communicate to someone else what you already know helps connect and solidify that knowledge that you already have. And I've been doing some teaching, obviously, but I was doing something very specific yesterday, teaching a friend of mine, and there was all these little things I put together while teaching him that I hadn't thought about in a long time, like how things how a scale and a chord connect. For instance, I was messing around with this, like a C major chord. Take that overdrive off. So I had that C major chord, right? And then I had the E root C major chord. Those are both the same chord, different voicings, but something that I just put together because I was teaching it to someone. And then I just was like, oh my God, like I need to like connect those together more. And that's taking this. So that's a C major pentatonic, but taking the chord and just seeing the scale and the chords together and thinking of it as one thing is what I was communicating to my friend. But just seeing it and explaining it really put it together even more for me. And it just solidified like a concept for me that I hadn't thought about in a while. So that was something really cool. Okay, so here we go, guys. We're going to go back to the Reddit. And you see the comments here. And I'm going to go to best. More butterscotch tellies, more boss katana, more boss metal zone, more tone. Love it. Those are all little memes for this page if anyone's watching for the first time. New. Top. You like jazz? I like jazz. Oh, see, that's where we get into the inappropriate. Okay, this is a good one. Can you give us a rough timeline of when you learned certain things through your guitar history? Been practicing for a year and wondered when people such as yourself learned bar chords, scale, phrases, songwriting, and so on. Okay, timeline. I have a video on this coming out soon. And I think timelines can be different for people, right? But what I think is that you want to be able to play some easy, songs like that are just nice, easy strummers and open chords. And then eventually just try and get, you'd probably want at least 10 or 15 classic tunes with all open chords that you can kind of strum through, play along with the recording, or play and sing. It just depends on some of the skills that you're trying to achieve. But, acquiring let's say 15 or 20 songs that just use open chords, maybe open chords in a capo, something like that. And then just eventually get to a song where it has one bar chord. Typically it would be like a song like in D major where it would have like a B minor chord. Like, and just start trying to get the one bar chord in there. Hey Josh, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Stan Lee says Vampire Weekend are dope. I agree. And I'm going to be doing some Vampire Weekend lessons coming up. But yeah, I've been just listening to them a lot more and I've been really enjoying the tunes. So it's nice to see some fans on here. Buff Bud says, what's a bar chord? It's when you go to a bar and you play Mustang Sally. Mustang Sally. Mustang Sally now, baby. That's a bar chord. All right. So I would say if you're playing 20 minutes a day, I'd say usually about 3 months in, you should be, struggling with bar chords. All right, here's another comment. And yeah, what I think is I'll just answer these out loud right now because it's easier. But then I'll come back when this live stream ends. I'll go through some of these and answer them in type. I think that makes sense. Oh, Michael Wolf says, how do you craft a chord from the Lydian mode? Well, the best way to hear the Lydian mode, well, one, the Simpsons theme is Lydian. And then that means kind of like most of the Danny Elfman music, like his Batman theme, all of that, he likes Lydian. It's used in like sci-fi themes a lot. The Back to the Future theme is Lydian. But the best way to hear it is to, let's say, I mean, it depends on how much theory you know, but if you play like, let's say, so let's say I play a C major 7 chord, and I'll do it on the looper. Just so you guys are going to hear what Lydian sounds like real quick. All right. Guitar and Burger King. Actually, that's not true. It's actually Kurger Bing. I thought it was fitting for the subreddit that I'm looking at, and the 035, classic 035s. Lydian. Oh, let me just play Lydian though for you guys. I'm going to play a C major 7 chord like that. Super easy chord. All right, so you hear the chord. Here's what Lydian sounds like. It's one particular set of notes that really define the sound of it. It's a sharp 4 in a major scale. So the regular major scale would be, but that's the C major scale. But C Lydian, it just makes the 4th sharp, and so it ends up sounding a little more like science fiction-y. It's not the pentatonic scale. It is not the pentatonic scale. That I promise you. Okay. Yeah, it's got a dreamy sound to it. In fact, Steve Vai likes to solo in Lydian. I'm getting a message here. I was getting information on how I should end this. Okay. Yeah, Lydian with a phaser, exactly. Ben A says, do I still teach in Nashville? I think I saw maybe your question before, Ben. So Ben's asking me about Nashville. I actually live in San Diego. I think most people know that, but sorry, I'm looking at your question at the same time. I live in San Diego, but the network that I work with, so like, you know, my creative team that make me look better than I am. So huge shout out to Maiden Network, Michael, Jacob, Ross, and the whole team. I mean, they're the ones that take that green screen and make it look epic. So I always appreciate them. But they're all based in Nashville. So before the COVID and all that, I was going to Nashville about every 6 weeks, shooting like the guitar tours episodes, like any, you know, or like going to the guitar museum, anything that looked like all of a sudden it had more of a TV show quality to it, is because I was, was getting produced in Nashville. So I haven't been there now because of COVID, but I wasn't really ever teaching lessons there. I was mostly just working my butt off because they make me work hard when I go there. I mean, I choose to, but I show up in Nashville, man, and it's time to work. So no, I'm not giving any lessons, but I am working on, you guys have so many things going on that are coming in the future that I'm excited about. But one of those, and it would rely for the world to get back to normal, there'll be some more opportunities where I can see some people in person when we get to it, like lessons, education stuff. So I'm excited for that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Reddit. We're just going to answer a few more Reddits here because that's what I'm here for, folks. So I'm going to refresh the page. You can't see that, but oh, it's not. Let's see, new. Going to refresh the page here. Okay. Ooh, a lot of more comments. Okay. Okay. All of the next 4 or 5 questions are all great. So I'm going to cut over to that. This is kind of fun. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm not going to do this format every time, but I hope you at least enjoy being able to get some screenshots in here and see the people's questions and stuff. All right, Scary Feet. What happened to the original gray fedora you wore in your early videos? I feel like the new brown one doesn't give out the same tone as the old one. Love your stuff. Tone, T-O-A-N. Man, whatever hats I was wearing, 10 years ago, I think they're in a storage unit. But let me know either on this Reddit or in the comments if you guys really prefer me to go get a gray hat. This brown one's actually really new. But if you want me to go back to a gray hat, I'll go back to a gray hat. I just, you got to get a fresh hat, and these hats are Brixton, the company that lives near me. So anyway, gray fedora, I think is probably a spider colony now in a storage unit I have. How to be better at playing guitar. It's funny. I know it's kind of like a jokey question, but tiny, I'm going to answer it for real though. Tiny, achievable goals. For instance, I'm going to learn one new chord a week. Something real, that doesn't sound impossible to your brain. You're going to learn one new chord a week. Or how about I'm going to master one pentatonic scale, one shape of it a month, right? So that means in 5 months, you'll have the shapes. Tiny little goals. I would say the best musicians, the best guitar players, or the best artists ever, I feel like they are never satisfied. So they keep, they have that drive to keep learning new things and keep improving. So even if you're an absolute beginner, if you have just that little desire to just keep adding tiny little achievable things, that's what I recommend. Don't get overwhelmed. That's why, like in the olden days, those guitar books, or like you buy a chord book, it's like 52,000 chords, and you're like going, oh my God, I'll never be able to do this. That's not what we want. All right. So tiny achievable goals. Okay. We're going to open this up again. All the support is great. So let's look at this one. Do you feel like you've, actually, yeah, we'll make it even bigger. Do you feel like you've accomplished all your guitar dreams, goals? When did it hit that you completely took over the whole YouTube guitar world? Well, people would argue that I have not. There's lots of guitar YouTube stuff that's really great content. I'm actually pretty excited that I think I've met most of the YouTube guitar community. I've never met Jared Dines. I've never met Davey 504, and they're two guys that are pretty big. I never met Stevie T. But pretty much all the other ones I've worked with or hung out, at the NAMM show with and all that. But what I will say is that this is a long time ago, but the day that I was able to pay off like tons of debt, credit card debt, just from like not quite making enough to support my family. So like if we had an emergency medical situation or like a car repair or little things like that, I always have to put it on a credit card because it was like an unexpected expense. So like 8 to 10 years of that, all of a sudden, you know, I had this huge credit card debt. So, so the day that I was able to pay that off, you know, by doing music or my job, that was a huge day. Or just like, you know, really, I mean, one of the most amazing things ever is that I started Marty Music. I'd already kind of had a career and then disappeared for a year, came back with Marty Music with 0 subscribers, 0 followers, 0 videos. Marty Music started with 0. And now it's 4 years later, and I've been able to come back and still have a gig like this. So my career. So I'm so grateful. So honestly, a lot of ways for that question, which we can go back this way. I've actually passed some of my expectations. For instance, going to the Gibson Guitar Factory and going through every step of this guitar getting made and then them handing it to me at the end could be one of my best career days ever. Playing a gig at the Iridium in New York City. It's a small little club, but selling it out and getting to shake everyone's hands and thank them for coming out or watching my videos. You know, just getting to do what I want. And then the greatest thing is that I can make a living and support my family. You know, when I don't know how many parents are out there watching, but when you have kids, you have a wife and kids and a house and people depending on you, there's, you know, it's a pressure cooker, and that really drove me. So to be able to, you know, do this thing that I put so much time into trying to get good at, to be able to make a living and support my family, but then on top of it, it's the fact that it's actually helping people, whether it's a little escape from the world madness or you just dig playing guitar as a hobby. The fact that I can help people is feels really good. All the questions, just Google them. He ain't even looking at the chat. Yeah, I am. Have you got this is a good one. Have you got a list of what to do next and what lessons to expect soon? That's a good question because that's funny. I just got a funny meme. What lessons to do next? Depending on what's going on in my life with this gig or career, I'm usually about 2 weeks ahead of what's getting released. And then depending on like if there's a sponsor that I have for one of the videos, that gets planned out, that gets a release date, and then we work towards it. So sometimes there's things that are all planned. We know exactly what we're going to do because there's other moving pieces involved. But sometimes, for instance, In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, there was like a viral video going where the two guys were hearing and reacting to In the Air Tonight for the first time. They had never heard the song. I'm sure you guys saw it. It was a big viral video. And, you know, that pops up and I'm like, oh God, that's such a great song. I want to go over that song real quick. So I'll just whip a video up like that and just throw it into, you know, move it up the queue and just say, hey, this song's viral right now and I love it. Let's come out with it. And then there's other times where we're specifically going, oh, well, we haven't done, you know, a big classic solo in a while. So what's a good big classic solo to do? And I start working on it. The harder songs. So I will just tell you right up, since you guys are watching, I shot and filmed and edited already a lesson on Panama by Van Halen. So that's coming out with the solo. I did the solo as well. So that's coming, but that's coming in like a month or so because we're going to ramp up a bunch of big hits, big songs for, you know, closer to the holidays. Let's look at this one. What's my favorite band and what is my favorite song? Don't have one favorite band, but I love Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, the Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers, and the Rolling Stones, Sly and the Family Stone, the Meters. Love the Meters, you know. Love John Scofield, the guitar player. I love Jimi Hendrix, who's not a, that wouldn't be a favorite band. But you know, the great classics are my favorite. And how, you know, when you're going through all that, how do you pick one song? But let's say Zeppelin song I love, so many, but I shouldn't even play it because then it'll get claimed. But like What Is and What Should Never Be, you know. I'm getting sound out of here. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna do two more, and then we're gonna wrap this up. And it sounds like my guitar went a little out of tune. All right, the next one. What songs and or projects are your most favorite and most memorable? Well, when I was in high school, all the like early 90s jam bands that were blowing up really inspired me. And I especially liked the band Blues Traveler. And that was like one of the bands that got me to pick up a harmonica, that then got me to pick up a guitar and all that. So getting to jam with them, getting to jam with Blues Traveler on stage felt like a full circle moment for me, just for my own personal journey of that. So that was really cool. The first time I played in front of I have actually played like a big open stadium or arena. It was a race car or a horse track or race car track. But before YouTube for me, this would have been, I think this is probably like 2004, 2005. I got hired through a musician friend to play with a female artist named Krista Borden, who had won like a Canadian pop singing show. And regardless, I went to Canada and played guitar in her band, and we opened for Aerosmith. And so that was like 50,000 people that I got to play in front of. And one of the coolest moments, and this is before I knew even that I would have a career doing the YouTube thing. So one is playing a show in front of that many people. I was like, okay, if nothing else works out for me in music, at least I got to do this. I got a picture of it, you know? So it was kind of one of those, well, if this music thing doesn't work out from here, at least I got to play in front of 50,000 people. It was also really cool because she did a costume change during the gig, and I got to do a big long guitar solo while she was doing the costume change. So I got to just go up to the front, you know, we weren't allowed on the Aerosmith catwalk, but I got to go right up to the front of the stage and just, you know, rip a real long solo, and it just felt amazing. It felt so amazing. So it was really cool. I remember watching like Justin Sanderco on YouTube when he had, some video with 1 million views or something, and I hadn't even probably gotten 100 views yet. So Justin was definitely doing this before me, and I remember seeing that going, whoa, what would that be like to have like 1 million people watch your video? I just remember going, that's impossible. So to like finally get to that was an amazing feeling of accomplishment. But the problem with that is it like trickles so slow that you get used to each little milestone. Like, oh, I'm getting 100 views now, and you get used to it, and it's like, oh, I'm getting 1,000 views now. Isn't that great? But what would it be if I got, 2,000 views? And then you just keep, and then it finally gets to a point where you can't satisfy yourself anymore. All right, you guys, the last one. This is great. Flanders only. I didn't trust teacher. Oh, but there's something I need to do for this. I'll do, you'll know. I'll quote it first. I didn't trust teachers. I didn't trust politicians. I didn't trust people on the evening news. I trusted music. The language of my life is written in rock and roll and punk rock and hip hop. I'd like to teach a class that makes your guitar playing meaningful to you. I'll show you ideas and chords and solos. I'm going to go through my entire arsenal, guitars, amps, and effects pedals. You'll practice technique to get your fingers going, etc. And here's my move for that quote. It's the big move. Are you ready? Here it is. Yeah. That's what he does, isn't it? I didn't trust politicians. I didn't trust teachers. I didn't trust teachers. I only trust Kurgerbing and a large, ice-cold Dr. Pee-Pee. All right, you guys. I'm going to, if you guys are into that subreddit, I'm going to go through and type some answers because I didn't type a lot. I felt like talking out loud. So just want to thank you guys again so much for hanging out. I see some of your YouTube comments now. Oh, yeah. Let's see. There's two things I have to do. But really, I have to not break the cycle here. So that's one issue I've got. Forgot. Someone reminded me. Let's see. Is it on here even? I don't even know if it's on here. Let's see. Nope, it's not. So anyway, I don't want to break the cycle. So here's the first thing I got to do. And can't forget the. I wanted to learn the guitar, but the beginning seemed so slow and frustrating and really dull and boring. More Nirvana always coming until there's no more Nirvana left. Nirvana until no more Nirvana left. All right, you guys. Thanks again for hanging out. Yeah, and this format that I'm using where I can do the screenshots and stuff, StreamYard, it's also I can get guests to come in and do split screen. So instead of something like that, oh, right there, that would be a guest talking, and I could go to that, and he'd be in the smaller video, and then I could go to that, and then I could go just to the person, or that kind of thing. And yeah, so that would be cool. But yeah, thank you all. I'm going to type some answers on that Reddit. And so anyway, here's Wonderwall. I screwed it up a little bit. Anyway, but yes, that's a lesson that's coming. So that was a little teaser as well. I love Iron Maiden. Anyway, take care, all. I'll be back next Saturday with another live stream. Much love, peace and love. Hope to see you soon. Ending broadcast. Adios.